So we're still in the first edition, the nice bookstore of the Imperial City. The only one, if I remember correctly. The only one I visited, until now at least. The last time we've read the Real Berenzia, 5 books it contained of. They were very long, especially the last one, but it was a good story about Berenzia. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, you can view my preceding videos.
Hello there.
You got a visitor? Who opened that door? Anyway, I was about to check the rest of the books. Frontier Conquest, Glory the Mystic, I've read it. The Wolf Queen V8, it might be a skill book. I haven't read V1 yet, so I'm not going to read this one, but I'm going to open it. I might have opened it somewhere else already. I don't know if it is a skill book or not. What do we have here? Thief of Virtue. Have I read that one before? I can't honestly tell anymore, but I don't think so. So let's go for it. Let's start by seeing how long it is. Not too long. Especially if you've read after the Real Berenzia. I don't think any book is long anymore. But I don't think I've read this one, so let's go ahead. Let me tell the tale of the Thief of Virtue. In the land of Hammerfell, in the city of Such, there lived a baron who was quite wealthy. He was a noted collector of rare coins. The Baroness Veronique found the whole thing quite tedious. However, she did appreciate the lifestyle that the baron's wealth provided. Ravius Tyrrhenus was a noted thief. He claimed to be a master thief in the mythical guild of thieves. However, there was most likely just Braggadocio? Is that Italian? The only known thieves guild was wiped out over 450 years ago. Ravius decided that the baron should share his wealth. Specifically, he should share it with Ravius. The wily thief crept into the baron's castle one night intending to do just that. The walls of the castle were noted for their height and unscalability. Ravius, let's just keep calling Ravius, cleverly used an arrow of penetration to affix a rope to the top of the battlements. Once on the battlements, he had to evade the baron's guards. By hiding in the shadows of the crenellations, he was able to work his way to the keep undetected. Entering the keep was child's play for a thief of his caliber. However, a cunning lock with no less than 13 pins protected the private quarters of the baron. Ravius broke only 9 lockpicks to open it. Using only a fork, a bit of a string, and a wineskin, he disabled the 7 traps guarding the baron's coin collection. Truly, Ravius was a master among thieves. With the coin safely in his grasp, Ravius began his escape only to find the way blocked. The baron had found the open door and was raising the guard to scour the castle. Ravius fled deeper into the castle, one step ahead of the questing guards. Were they questing? Like side quests? His only way out led through the boudoir of Baroness Veronique. He entered to find the lady preparing for bed. Now it should be said at this point that Ravius was noted for his handsome looks, while the Baroness was noted for her plainness. Both of these facts were immediately recognized by each of the pair. "Dost thou come to plunder my virtue?" asked the lady, all a-tremble. "Nay, fair lady," Ravius said, thinking quickly. "Plunder be a harsh term to ply upon such a delicate flower as your virtue. I see thou hast made off with mine husband's precious coins." Ravius looked deeply into her eyes and saw the only path by which he would escape this night with his life. It would require a double sacrifice. "Though these coins are of rarest value, I have now found a treasure that is beyond all value," Ravius said smoothly. "Tell me, O beauteous one, why does thy husband set 7 deadly traps around these tawdry coins, but only a simple lock upon the door of his virtuous wife?" "Ignis protects those things that are dearest to him," Veronique replied with ire. "I would give all the gold in my possession to spend but a moment basking in your radiance." With that, Ravius set down the coins he had worked so hard to steal. The Baroness swooned into his arms. When the captain of the guard asked to search her quarters, she hid Ravius most skillfully. She turned over the coins, claiming the thief dropped them when he fled out a window. With that sacrifice made, Ravius steeled himself for the second. He robbed the Lady Veronique of her virtue at night. He robbed her of it several times, lasting well into the wee hours of the morning. Exhausted yet sated, he stole away in the pre-dawn hours. Some kind of an adult book. Thief of Virtue. It was a good story though. Nice, short but nice. What do we have here? Myth or Menace. We've read that one already, about the Thieves Guild also. Then we have this bookcase. We might have checked this one already, by the way. I think I did, so I think there's some more over here. Yes, behind the counter. Tamrielic lore. I haven't read that one yet, so let's go for it. How long is it? Pretty darn long, so be prepared to listen for a while. Tamriel lore. Okay, here we go. Tamrielic artifacts. The following are notes I have gathered over the past centuries of items of unimaginable significance. All have been seen, owned and lost again and again throughout Tamriel. Some may be myth, others may be hoax, but regardless, many have lost their lives attempting to find or protect these very coveted items. Well, I kind of remember this book. I think it explains the special items and weapons and artifacts that roam the land of Tamriel in this case, not really only the Imperial province. But this might cover all of the Elder Scrolls games. So here we go. Lord's Mail, sometimes called the Armor of Morihaus or the Gift of Kinnereth. This is an ancient cuirass of unsurpassable quality. It grants the wearer power to absorb health, resist the effect of spells, and cure oneself of poison when used. It is said that whenever Kinnereth deigns the wearer unworthy, the Lord's Mail will be taken away and hidden for the next chosen one. I guess this is a good book to have in my possession when I ever come into possession of those items. I could check upon it. Ebony Mail. The Ebony Mail is a breastplate created before recorded history by the Daedra Bothia. It is he who determines who should possess the Ebony Mail and for how long a time. If judged worthy, its power grants the wearer added resistance of fire, magicka, and grants a magical shield. It is Bothia alone who determines when a person is ineligible to bear the Ebony Mail any longer, and the Daedra can be very capricious. Spellbreaker, superficially a Dwemer tower shield, is one of the most ancient relics of Tamriel. Aside from its historical importance in the Battle of Rourke and Shalidor, the Spellbreaker protects its wielder almost completely from any spellcaster, either by reflecting magics or silencing any mage about to cast a spell. It is said that Spellbreaker still searches for its original owner and will not remain the property of anyone else for long. For most, possessing Spellbreaker for any length of time is power enough. Are these items that you get from Daedric lords? Chrysamere. Paladin's Blade is an ancient claymore with offensive capabilities, surpassed only by its own defenses. It lends the wielder health, protects him or her from fire, and reflects any spell cast against the wielder back to the caster. Seldom has Chrysamere been wielded by any bladesman for any length of time, for it chooses not to favor one champion. Staff of Magnus, that sounds vaguely familiar. One of the elder artifacts of Tamriel was a metaphysical battery of swords for its creator Magnus. When used, it absorbs an enemy's health and mystical energy. In time, the staff will abandon the mage who wields it before he becomes too powerful and upsets the mystical balance it is sworn to protect. Interesting weapon. Warlock's Ring of the Archmage Cirebane is one of the most popular relics of myth and fable. In Tamriel's ancient history, Cirebane saved all of the continent by judicious use of his ring, and ever since it has helped adventurers with less lofty goals. It is best known for its ability to reflect spellcast at its wearer and to improve his or her speed and to restore health. No adventurer can wear the Warlock's Ring for long, for it is said that the ring is Cirebane's alone to command. Ring of Finister. The Ring of Finister was made hundreds of years ago by a man who needed good defenses to survive his adventurous life. Thanks to the ring, Finister lived for hundreds of years, and since then it has passed from person to person. The ring improves his wearer's overall resistance to poison, magicka, and shock. Still, Finister was cunning and cursed the ring, so that it eventually disappears from its holder's possessions and returns to another resting place. Discontent to stay anywhere but with Finister himself. Ring of Khajiit is an ancient relic hundreds of years older than Rajin, the thief that made the ring famous. It was Rajin who used the ring's power to make himself invisible and as quick as a breath of wind. Using the ring, he became the most successful burglar in Elswere's history. Regine's eventual fate is a mystery, but according to legend, the ring rebelled against such constant use and disappeared, leaving Regine helpless before his enemies. This all sounds very much like Lord of the Rings, when the ring goes missing and someone needs to find it. So these relics and artifacts, they might be somewhere in the Elder Scrolls games, might even be a few in this game. The next one I know is one from Skyrim, I remember. Mace of Molag Bal, also known as the Vampire's Mace. The Mace of Molag Bal drains its victims of magicka and gives it to the bearer. It also has the ability to transfer an enemy's strength to his wielder. Molag Bal has been quite free with his artifact. There are many legends about the mace. It seems to be a favorite for vanquishing wizards. Ever the Vain One, Clavicus Vile, made a mask suited to his own personality. The bearer of the mask is more likely to get a positive response from the people of Tamriel. The higher his personality, the larger the bonus. The best known story of the mask tells the tale of Ayleid, a noblewoman of some renown. As a young girl, she was grossly disfigured by a spiteful servant. Ayleid made a dark deal with Clavicus Vile and received a mask in return. Though the mask did not change her looks, suddenly she had the respect and admiration of everyone. A year and a day after her marriage to a well-connected baron, Clavicus Vile reclaimed the mask. Although pregnant with his child, Ayleid was banished from the baron's household. 21 years and 1 day later, Ayleid's daughter claimed her vengeance by slaying the baron. Serves him right. Mehrunes Razor. Might be something from the DLC. The Dark Brotherhood has coveted this ebony dagger for generations. This mythical artifact is capable of slaying any creature instantly. History does not record any bearers of Mehrunes Razor. However, the Dark Brotherhood was once decimated by a vicious internal power struggle. It is suspected that the Razor was involved. Then Cuirass of the Savior's Hide. Another of Hircine's artifacts was the Cuirass of the Savior's Hide. The Cuirass has the special ability to resist magicka. Legend has it that Hircine rewarded his peeled hide to the first and only mortal to have ever escaped his hunting grounds. This unknown mortal had the hide tailored into this magical cuirass for his future adventures. The Savior's Hide has a tendency to travel from hero to hero, as though it has a mind of its own. All very mythical items indeed. One of the more mysterious artifacts is the Spear of Bitter Mercy. Little to nothing is known about the spear. There are no recorded histories, but many believe it to be of Daedric origin. The only known legend about it is used by a mighty hero during the fall of the battle spire. The hero was aided by the spear in the defeat of Mehrunes Dagon and the recapturing of the battle spire. Since that time, the Spear of Bitter Mercy has made few appearances within Tamriel. I wonder if that's the same weapon from the game, the Elder Scrolls Battlespire. I think that was like an adventure spin-off. I haven't played it. Could be. The Daedric Scourge, that's a great name, is a mighty mace forged from secret ebony in the fires of Fickledire. The legendary weapon of Makan, it was once a fierce weapon used to send spirits of black back into oblivion. The weapon has the ability to summon creatures from oblivion. Once a tool used against the Daedric lords in the Battlespire, it now roams the land with adventurers. Legend has it that the Bow of Shadows was forged by the Daedra Nocturnal. The legendary ranger, Rareless Guile, was granted the bow for a secret mission that failed and the bow was lost. Rareless did not go down without a hearty fight and is said to leave with the aid of the bow taken scores of his foes with him. The bow grants the user the ability of invisibility and increased speed. Many sightings of the Bow of Shadows have been reported, and it is even said that the sinister dark elf assassin of the Second Era, Dram, once wielded this bow. Fists of Randagulf. Randagulf of Clan Bagalin goes down in Tamrielic history as one of the mightiest warriors from Skyrim. I haven't met him in that game. He was known for his courage and ferocity in battle and was a factor in many battles. He finally met his fate when King Harald conquered Skyrim. King Harald respected this great hero and took Randagulf's gauntlets for his own. After King Harald died, the gauntlets disappeared. The king claimed that the fists granted the bearer added strength. The Ice Blade of the Monarch is truly one of Tamriel's most prized artifacts. Legend has it that the evil archmage Elmian Selmo enchanted the claymore of a great warrior with the soul of a frost monarch, a stronger form of the more common frost atronach. The warrior, Thurknor Isi, was to play a part in the assassination of a great king in a far-off land, and become the new leader. The assassination failed and the archmage was imprisoned. The ice blade freezes all who feel its blade. The blade circulates from owner to owner, never settling in one place for long. Ring of Surroundings. Little is known of this prize, but it is said that it lends the wearer the ability to blend in with their surroundings. That's it? The boots of the Apostle are a true mystery. The wearer of the boots is rumored to be able to levitate, though nobody has ever seen them used. And levitation, I don't think that's a thing in Oblivion or in Skyrim. I'm not really sure. It's definitely a thing on Morrowind. Would be nice if it returned in the new Elder Scrolls game. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it was in Oblivion, or it is in Oblivion and in Skyrim, and I just don't know about it yet. Now this one is interesting. I know this one from Morrowind. You can get it quite at the start of the game in a dungeon. The Mentor's Ring. This ring is a prized possession for any apprentice to magic. It lends the wearer the ability to increase their intelligence and wisdom, thus making their use of magic more efficient. The High Wizard Sarni Asron is said to be the creator of the ring. It was a construct for his young apprentices while studying under his guidance. After Asron's death, the ring and several other possessions vanished and have been circulated throughout Tamriel. Ring of the Wind. No facts are known about this ring, but the title and the few rumors lend one to think it grants the wearer added speed. That's it. One of the more deadly and rare artifacts in Tamriel is the Vampiric Ring. It is said that the ring has the power to steal its victim's health and grant it to the wearer. The exact nature and origin of the ring is wholly unknown, but many elders speak of its evil creation in Morrowind long ago by a cult of vampire followers. The Vampiric Ring is an extremely rare artifact and is only seen every few hundred cycles of the moons. What does that even mean? Many rings, by the way. Ayleid's Ward. Ayleid was a holy knight of legend in Breton history. He was a sought-after man for his courage and determination to set all wrongs right. In one story, it is said that he rescued a baron's daughter from sure death at the hands of an evil warlord. For his reward, the baron spent all of his riches to have an enchanted shield built for Ayleid. The shield granted Ayleid the opportunity to heal his wounds. Okay, it's a shield. Staff of Hasadoki. Hasadoki was said to have been a very competitive wizard. He wandered the land in search for a wizard who was greater than he. To the best of all knowledge, he never found a wizard who could meet up to his challenge. It is said that he felt so lonely and isolated because so many feared his power that he bonded his life force into his very own staff, where his soul remains to this very day. Magic users all over Tamriel have been searching for this magical staff. Granting its wielder a protection of magicka, it is a sure prize for any magic user. Sounds like a very powerful staff indeed. Bloodworm Helm. The King of Worms was said to have left behind one of his prized possessions, the Bloodworm Helm. The helm is a construct of magically formed bone. The helm allows the user to summon skeletons and control the undead. It would be a prized artifact to a necromancer. Then the Dragonbone Mail. This cuirass is one of the greatest artifacts any collector or hero could own. It is constructed of real dragon bone and was enchanted by the first Imperial battle mage Zurin Arctis in the early years of the Third Era. It is a truly exquisite piece of work and many have sought to possess it. The properties of the cuirass allow the wearer to resist fire and to damage an enemy with a blast of fire. Little is known about the involvement of Zurin Arctis with the enchantment of the cuirass, but an old tale speaks of a debt that he owed to a traveling warrior. Like the warrior, the Dragonbone Mail never stays put for long. The Skull Crusher is an amazingly large and powerful weapon. The warhammer was created in a fire, magically fueled by the wizard Dorak Guzal, and was forged by the great weaponsmith Hilbengard Rolamus. The steel is magically hardened, and the weight of the weapon is amazingly light, which makes for more powerful swings and deadly blows. The warhammer was to be put on display for a festival, but thieves got it first. The Skull Crusher still travels Tamriel in search of its creators. Goldbrand. This magical sword is almost a complete mystery. Thieves tell tales about its golden make and how it was actually forged by ancient dragons of the north. Their tales claim that it was given to a great knight who was sworn to protect the dragons. The sword lends its wielder the ability to do fire damage on an enemy. Goldbrand has not been cited in recent history and is said to be awaiting a worthy hero. How many heroes does it take to get them all? Maybe just one. Fang of Hayneknetemet. What the hell? Black Marsh was once known to be inhabited with what the Argonians called the Wamasses. Northern men considered them to be intelligent dragons with lightning for blood. One such mighty beast, Hayneknemet, was slain by the northern men, though it took 7 days and nights and a score of men. One of the surviving men took a fang home as a trophy. The fang was carved down into a blade and fashioned into a small dagger. The dagger mysteriously houses some of the beast's magical properties and grants the user the ability to do shock damage on an opponent. This unique dagger is seen occasionally by traveling heroes. The Umbra sword was enchanted by the ancient witch Naenra Ware, and its sole purpose was the entrapment of souls. Used in conjunction with a soul gem, the sword allows the wielder the opportunity to imprison an enemy's soul in the gem. Naenra was executed for her evil creation, but not before she was able to hide the sword. The Umbra sword is very choosy when it comes to owners, and therefore remains hidden until a worthy one is found. Dan Stekmer's ring. All that is known of this ring is that it may grant the user protection from certain elements. Even the name Dan Stekmer is a mystery. And why is it in this book? Helm of Orain Bearclaw. One of Valenwood's legendary heroes is Orain Bearclaw, son of King Foam Todai. He was a respected clan hunter and a future leader. Wood Elven legend claims Orain single-handedly defeated Glenwyfana, the witch serpent of the Elven Wood, forever bringing peace to his clan. Orain would go on to accomplish numerous other deeds, eventually losing his life to the Knahaten flu. His helm stood as a monument of his stature for future generations to remember. The helm was lost eventually as the clan split and is now a treasured artifact for adventurers. The helm of Orain Bearclaw is rumored to improve the wearer's agility and endurance. The last one, Daedric Crescent Blade. Probably the most rare and even outlawed item of all the great prizes is the Daedric Crescent Blade. The blade was used by Maroon's Dagon's Daedric forces in the capture of the Imperial battle spire. These extremely unique blades were gathered up and destroyed after the battle spire was recaptured by the Empire. All but one, it seems. Though the Empire believed them all to be destroyed, it is rumored that one still remains in existence somewhere in Tamriel. Though none has ever seen it, the blade lends its wielder the ability to do great damage on an enemy and allows him to paralyze and put heavy wear on his enemy's armor. Quite the prize for any mighty warrior if it does indeed exist. I like this book very much. It gives you the sense of adventure and implores you to go and investigate this stuff and find these hidden relics and weapons. And like I said, I'm not sure how many of these are in this game, but there might be a few, and it gives you a very good sense of exploration. And you know, once you find such a relic that is described in this book, it gives a good feeling of accomplishment, I think.